From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 Help.
That's right. Taylor 500 Help will get you ready for summertime temperatures. When it's hot outside, you want to be nice and cool on the inside of your home or your place of employment, right? So if you don't have air conditioning, call the guys at Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Tailor-made service customized for your needs. Air conditioning, heating, plumbing, home energy, comprehensive maintenance plans. If you have a drafty house or drafty building that you work in, Taylor guys can come in and make sure your insulation is up to par. And if you need new insulation, they can do that for you. Don't sweat the important replacements or fixes, because the great thing about Taylor 500 Help is that they have, of course, financing plans that will work with your budget. And if you're looking for a job, Taylor is hiring current opportunities, HVAC techs, plumbers, project managers, and office personnel. It's Taylor Heating and Plumbing at Taylor 500 Help. Precision Lawn and Garden, North Avenue in Webster. Kimberly and Justin will make sure that you have all the right equipment to make sure your lawn is looking fabulous, like the best in the neighborhood. If you need a lawnmower, small or large, no worries. You have no idea what kind to get. Justin and Kimberly at Precision Lawn and Garden can help you out. They've been providing Rochester, surrounding areas, professional sales, service, and parts since 1969. You need a chainsaw, they have it. Small lawnmower, big lawnmower, zero turn, snow blowers, whatever it is, all your favorite brands, Toro, Kawasaki engines, Cub Cadet, Aaron's. It's Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. You want your driveway sealed, because if your lawn looks good, your driveway's got to look good. And that's why I want you to call Brian at Express Sealers, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. He will make sure that your driveway looks great. Only on the east side, okay? Only on the east side, 645-2010. Please support our advertisers at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network, because we need them to do this podcast, quite frankly, because Tom's broke. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. Tom has no money in his wallet. All right. I'm blaming it on Tom. All right. So let's get started, right, with Kimberly's Revolution.
I literally have no money in my wallet.
I knew that.
I have $13.
I have one.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in sunny, beautiful 70-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hello.
I'm over here stuck between a rock and a hard place. Who knew these Democrats would start making sense? Here they are. Kimberly and Chad.
Hey, it's Kimberly's Revolution. We are here. We're here with Chad today. He's gracing us with his presence.
Am I the rock
So good.
or the hard place?
No, you just got to look behind you. That's all. Look behind you.
Look behind
Mr.
you.
happened?
It's a little sign we put up there.
Come on,
We thought it was appropriate.
man.
just for today. I'm the Kimberly of Kimberly's Revolution. We are glad that you guys have joined us. We've got a great show for you today. Sex with a Unicorn is the name of the show. Sex with a
Who?
Unicorn.
Is this in honor of?
Sex with a Unicorn. Hey, if you've seen one, apparently there's some police accountability board members that are a little kinky.
Yeah, you know, whatever they do behind
Shawnee,
closed doors.
you naughty girl. Naughty. Anyway.
Keep going.
So,
You're looking fabulous today, Kimberlina.
thank
thank-
you.
oh,
When
I'm-
Chad saw me on Monday, he didn't recognize me. I look so bad. I look so bad on Monday.
Why would you even bring that up?
You didn't even recognize me. You're like,
Sure I
hi, how
did.
can I help?
No way. You
Hey,
didn't do that, did you?
You're uglier than sin. How can I help you today? So I'm like, it's me, Chad. Duh. Anyway, so glad that you guys are all joining us. Sitting across from me, of course, is our very esteemed gentleman, lawyer, attorney, Chad Hummel. He is the owner of the brokerage firm Revere Realty, which is where we do business from. I'm a realtor. He's a broker, attorney. And then, of course, we have Just Tom, who is an appraiser and an agent and a broker as well. So we are here from Revere Realty. And of course, we do the podcast. They're our number one sponsor. We are upstairs and we have Austin, our producer, who keeps everything running here at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People
Hello.
Podcast Network. There he is. There's our guy. And of course, Fitz at Rockbox Productions. If you want to set up some kind of a podcast and you don't have any idea about how to go about doing it, then Fitz at Rockbox Productions. That's Rock, ROCVOX Productions over in Bushnell's Basin. If you get on the interwebs and you Googles it, you can find it. All right. So it's right there. Sex with a Unicorn, the name of today's show. And I want to get into that in just a second. But I wanted to let you know, do you know anybody named Gary? Do we have any Garys that are patriots that are watching Kimberly's Revolution or listening to Kimberly's Revolution? You know any Garys?
I
know a few, Gary.
I know
You know a
one
few
Ga-
Garys?
I know two Garys in my past, but
Yeah.
nobody that I know.
Garys are endangered. Garys, can we show that little?
Like
Yeah.
straight white males.
Wow,
There we
look
go.
at that. That's quite the bell curve you got there.
I know. I do a chart like nobody's business. Garys are endangered. Only 252 babies were named Gary last year. First off,
Travesty.
why in the hell would a parent in 2021 name their kid Gary?
First world problems.
That's awful.
Are
Why
you sure
would you
that's
do
not
that?
the COVID
I don't know.
cases curve there, Kimberly?
I guess Gary's peaked in 1940. I'm sorry, because of the film star.
Gary Cooper.
Bingo, Gary Cooper.
I guess you have to be born before 1930 to know that.
Yeah, the only Garys I know are like old. I mean, I can say the only Garys I know are like in their 60s, which would make sense.
The two Garys that I know of were from, 20 years ago. They were my age, so they're probably
smoked and drank
maybe
like it was
50.
going out of style, But the other name,
Just to be clear, we have nothing against anybody named Gary.
you're just old as fuck. Sorry.
Barb Ann says her brother's name is Gary.
Go see 67.
He's 97.
He's 67.
Oh, it's 6 upside down. Sorry.
But another name that has been trending for years, and she's kind of having a 9-month birthday, is this sweet little thing right here. Let's
Betty?
show
Oh,
our Sophie.
Oh, how cute
Look
she
at
is.
that face.
She-year old?
She's 9
9
months, Chad.
months.
Read the post.
9 months.
Well, I didn't know we celebrated 9 months.
Look at that cutie baby, Sophie Ray.
Well, when there's
Did
a
you get a
1-year
cake?
party, I think you'll probably be invited, Chad.
That is Tom's granddaughter,
Did she
of
get
course.
a cake with 9 candles? She's
I don't
cute.
know what
Look
she
how
got.
cute she is. Look at that little
Looks like
face.
she's taking a crap,
Look,
Kimberly.
If I'm going to have that behind me,
Dick.
then I have to act like that.
Go ahead.
Well, she doesn't
Let's-
look like
let's-
Tom, which
let's-
is good.
Let's make fun of 9-month-olds now.
Yeah, no, she's cute as a button. That's why. So I had an idea. I
well,
knew what
thank
road
you
I was
very
going down.
much.
So Sophie Ray, I think Sophie is still one of the top trending names in the U.S. and it has been for like I don't know.
So do you do
10
that for
years.
10 months too?
Yes, she's done that for every month.
And before we get started with the unicorn, one of my favorite things is a donut. And did you know that there was a guy who actually invented the donut? And he's like old. Speaking of old,
Oh, I thought donuts like
Wait.
pre-existed people.
I used to
see,
make
that
donuts.
That guy is a sea captain. His name is Hanson Crockett Gregory. That's a great name
He
for a
looks
sea
like
captain.
a sea captain.
Did he
Sea
own
cap-
slaves too?
Sea captain from Maine. He was always on the high seas. So in order to, he was also a cook. So he would turn out these, cooked blobs of fried whatever it was. And it was always like mushy and gross in the middle.
Time to
So
make the donuts.
So what he did was he just cut out the hole, in the donut to make the inside of the donut because they could never get it cooked right. And he just cut out the mushy part and hence the donut.
So he also invented the Timbit at the same time.
He did invent the timber.
Right.
Right?
Only
Exactly.
just Tom would know that.
So
Of
this
Of course, we have to go
guy,
with the pink donut with sprinkles.
this guy was born in 1832 and died in 1921. So he had a good long life
Yeah.
back in the day,
I made donuts, Kimberly.
living on donuts. You made donuts?
Yeah, when I was in college.
Freaking love donuts.
When I was
They're
in
awesome.
college at St. John Fisher, my best friend growing up, his dad owned a bakery in East Rochester called Dave and Dee's Village Bakery.
Oh,
So I used to make donuts and deliver donuts.
nice.
So I knew how to get them going in the fryer and
Do all
good
that
stuff. Yeah.
How many did you
Made some
eat?
good donuts. Oh, way too many.
Let me
I
let
used
me
to
quick
deliver-
get something clear. So the guy
I used to
that
deliver 11
invented
donuts out of every dozen.
What? Yeah, what's
so
that?
the guy that invented donuts
yes.
and obviously ate a whole bunch
this
of them.
Maine
How
sea
long
captain,
did he live? Like 90?
From 1832 to 1921. I can
He
don't ask
lived
me to do
like
the math.
90 years.
Yeah, eating donuts
when
out of,
the average lifespan was what, like 12?
and I guarantee he didn't have any teeth.
That's because he wasn't vaccinated.
To be fair, he probably wasn't putting the pink frosting on the donuts.
Excellent
Oh,
point.
That makes the
That's
donut,
why we
though.
pay him the big bucks over there.
I love that. I
I'm
love
just
the
going
frost.
on a straight donut diet. From
His
now
donuts
on.
were healthy. They were a lot healthier.
You can
back
live
in
to
the-
90. All you got to eat is donuts.
That and fish. A fishy donut sounds great. Yeah. And in honor of the gas prices,
Oh boy.
who's been to the gas pump? We're looking at $5 here in Rochester now.
Yeah.
I went today $4.89 for regular.
Yeah, some speedways are already at $5. Gas prices near $5 1 week after that lovely tax suspension. Aren't you so glad that the state of New York felt so bad for us? They removed the tax from the gas and we still are paying $5 a gallon. Who's ripping
Crazy.
us off? Right?
Corporations.
Biden.
I mean, I don't know
I
how
thought
much
it was the corporation's fault.
I don't know how much longer some people can hold on. My husband drives 40 minutes to work every day. You just drive a mile down the road. If you wanted to, you could hop on your bicycle. But for people
I
who
will
drive
be
like
soon.
significant,
Yeah, I mean, it literally is the microcosm of inflation. I mean,
yeah,
that gas price
completely.
Yeah, that gas price, it's like a bubble. For a business to absorb that, they just have to continue to raise their prices, so that compounds it. So now your monthly gas budget is doubled, it's tripled.
Crazy.
Which, your food budget is
It's
doubled
doubled
and
and
it's
tripled.
tripled because the tractor trailers have to deliver all the food.
Yeah.
So the people that are driving, by necessity 30, 40, 50 miles a day,
Just
you
to go
do
to work.
You do the math, they've gone from spending $200 a month to $800 a month.
And their salary
And
hasn't
their
gone
salary
up.
hasn't gone up.
They
at
haven't
all.
gotten a raise.
Not
My
a penny.
husband hasn't gotten a raise where he works.
Not a penny.
So
No, because the businesses are doing all they can do to absorb it through price increases.
Yeah.
They certainly can't afford and provide raises anymore. I mean, we could get into a whole detailed economic discussion of how this all goes back to everybody clamors for a minimum wage increase because it sounds so great,
It
right?
does, yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing to go from $14 to $15 an hour. Well, guess what? You make $15 an hour and your burger's $8 instead of $7, and you're a net negative at the end of the month.
sure.
What's the difference how much you make
Listen,
if it doesn't correspond to how much you spend, and so on and so forth?
Monroe County Executive Adam Bello says that the gas tax suspension is going to stay in place till the end of the year. He's our savior.
That's awesome. I mean,
He's our savior.
that's
Aren't
so
we so
great.
happy?
That's so great.
Is it? I just wanted to let you know.
Why
we're so
doesn't he
happy.
have why doesn't he have that behind him when he does his press conference?
Well, if we could find
Because,
Tom
because
to do
the people
that.
that work with him aren't jerks.
He's
Jack.
got people rolling out red carpets for him. They help him put his mask on for him.
I know.
And I come to the studio and I get Dick behind me.
That's because we love you.
Yes.
That's because we love
it's,
you.
It's endearing.
Yeah. I mean, would you rather we just sexually harass you? Let us just sexually harass you.
Yeah, that would be fine.
Say you're such a unicorn. I'd like to have sex with you. I mean, can I just say
I'm such a fish out of water.
I've never asked anyone I worked with to have sex with me. Except for going way back in the day when
Not
I was
even
maybe
Austin?
single and, the program director might have been single. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying. But I don't think I have ever told anyone that I worked with that was male, regardless of, their sexual preference. And I'm talking about this Rochester Police Accountability Board that was funded with $5 million of your taxpayer money. And Chad, your taxpayer money, and Austin's.
I don't pay any taxes.
Tom doesn't have any money, so he doesn't. He doesn't.
They give him a break.
Yeah.
I live in a tree fort.
Shawnee Wilson is an attorney. Is that correct? No, is she attorney? Am I thinking of the wrong Shawnee Wilson? I think maybe she's a nurse practitioner.
Unfortunately, I don't know.
But have you ever heard of her?
I have.
Before yesterday, Shawnee Wilson of the Police Accountability Board.
I've heard the name.
She's apparently the head of the Police Accountability Board, right?
She's the new head.
She's the chair.
She got promoted.
Shawnee Wilson is the Police Accountability Board chair. And if The accountability board was basically formed because
we hate cops.
they hate cops and they felt like the Rochester Police Department could not police their own. So they put a group together of cop haters who every time the cops sneeze wrong or cough wrong, they want an investigation. And their mission statement is full transparency, full disclosure, right? Isn't that the mission statement of
Absolutely.
the Police Accountability
Yeah.
Board?
It's right there. Read it.
So we found out a couple of weeks ago that the executive director, Connor Dwyer Reynolds, had been suspended. And no one was saying nothing about why.
Not
Right?
even one of our podcasting co-hosts
And,
here.
and we thought it was because he was on Jose's show, or
We kind of did think it was.
or because he stole my promotional T-shirt that was here.
Or he did steal the T-shirt.
Well, I'm sure he had permission.
But we kind of thought, and we kind of thought that maybe Connor Dwyer Reynolds was suspended because he wasn't woke enough,
Because he's a white male.
because he wasn't liberal enough for the liberal cop hating organization that the Police Accountability Board is. But it turns out, allegedly, it's one of my big words, that's not the case.
Do you know what that means?
Allegedly? I do know what allegedly means. Allegedly,
Aw,
Connor
That's him.
Dwyer Reynolds, that
I
mustache,
would suspend him too.
just for the mustache,
I think it's awesome.
just
that
for the
mustache.
freaking porn stash.
I wish
circa
I could-
1977.
I wish I could grow that mustache. Look at that guy. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it ain't. So there's Connor. All right, you have to make fun of him.
Right here in the studio. He was right here in the We the People podcast studio.
Did he sit in my chair?
No, he sat here, I believe.
Is he a unicorn? Because apparently there's someone on the Police Accountability Board that wants to jump that mustache and ride that baby all the way
He's
home.
looking good.
Woo! Giddy up, Connor. Go. Giddy up. If I'm making anyone uncomfortable, I don't really give a rat's ass.
While he wears our We the People podcast T-shirt.
These guys are the best.
So here's Connor Dwyer Reynolds. He has this blog. Have you read the blog?
No.
I don't even know what a blog is.
Where he says he was
Can
suspended.
you read it to me like a nighttime story
And like that sexy voice. No, I don't want to.
with a unicorn
Can we
hat
get-
on?
No, don't make me.
Can we get Scott to read it?
Yeah, fits
yeah.
well.
That was an inside joke.
Fits well. Yeah. Yeah. And I love to hear all the radio commentary. Well, first off, Channel 13 at 1 or 2 o'clock still had not reported this story. Still had not reported the story on the Police Accountability Board executive director being sexually harassed by the Police Accountability Board chair, a Black woman who apparently made various come-ons to this guy. And when he brought it to the attention of the board and the city council, he was suspended. He was suspended.
Interesting. Who had the most to gain from that?
Can we chalk that up to something that we always say? Whatever it is that the liberal progressives are professing, they're always doing the exact opposite, right?
Yes.
They're the ones that created all of these
Yes.
so-called inner office accountability measures to weed out sexual harassment, to
Right.
make sure that human beings won't be human beings anymore, right?
Right.
Because human beings have done things, a little off color. I don't know, maybe for a couple million years. I don't know. Right?
Millennia. Yeah.
So they create all of these rules and all of these regulations and all of these policies, and they make, out of every 100 people, they make 99.5 of them who are innocent
Mhm.
follow absurd rules, regulations, go to classes, watch videos, check all these boxes.
Yes.
And they're the ones that are breaking the rules. And then when somebody actually
Yeah.
is a victim of a rule that they created, of a policy that they created, when somebody becomes a victim of that, what do?
Shut down. Lock it down.
They
no
bury their head in
information.
the sand. They
Yeah.
pretend it doesn't exist.
No, we're not talking
Accuse
about
the
it.
accuser.
How dare you talk about it? This is a private matter. This is a private matter.
Yeah, these rules are only in place to control people.
We're not going to discuss it unless it involves you and you're a member of the not liberal left or the cop hating organization, then we want full transparency. You see how this works? Sigmund says, come on now, Kimberly, there's been no big story except in city newspaper because the Police Accountability Board is an adjunct of the city government. The poor defenseless victim is a white male. The oversexed harasser is a black woman.
Exactly.
That is just from someone who tweeted at me.
Well, there was
I thought it was interesting.
There's still allegations that the public doesn't know the result of surrounding the black female superintendent of the Rochester City School District, right? Has anyone in the media followed up on that? Do we know the outcome of that?
I had to tweet at 13 because I'm like, you have the story of Goodwill stores opening. For God's sakes, let's do some hard news, right? Are you there to do hard news, or is Channel 13 just,
no, 13's too busy gaslighting everyone on Facebook.
So I had to call them out. Where's the story? At least the Democratic Chronicle actually did the story. But let me just tell you what allegedly Shawnee Wilson, who is the chair of the Police Accountability Board.
Is she a realtor?
She is. I don't think so. God, I hope not. But she's out there in the news. So I think we found out from our last little go around that if it's in the news, we can talk about it, right? I hope.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We can talk about it for $1,500.
So Connor, I'm just going to call him Connor the Stash. Can we do that? Connor the Stash.
Absolutely.
Beautiful mustache.
Connor the Stash said that he was appointed the Police Accountability Board Executive Director on October 16th, 2020. And in his blog, he alleged that the sexual harassment by this black woman started 6 days after he was crowned the executive director.
Wait, the PAB's been around since 2020? It's going on 2 years?
I think so. I think so.
They've already gone through 4.9 million of the 5 million.
There's Shawnee and there's Connor the Stash.
So she sexually harassed him?
It's a good looking couple there.
He's bisexual.
Well, then
God help us all.
Is he really?
He just wanted a letter, Kimberlina. I mean, don't you, to be in the club, don't you have to get a letter somewhere?
I don't know.
Then how can he be sexually harassed? If he's I don't understand how any of this works.
She apparently,
I'm so old-fashioned.
She apparently thought that was sexy.
He got a letter.
Here's what Shawnee thought this was. This is a challenge. This is a challenge. I'm going to come on to the guy and see if I can swing him my way, right? 100%. So he alleges that 6 days after he was appointed the executive director, Shawnee Wilson learned that he was bisexual, and she called him a unicorn and told him, I think that's hot. I think that's attractive that you love both men and women in sexual relations. And he claims that on a night in November, she came over, they were drinking. She tried to get him drunk enough to sleep with her, and she asked him over and over to give it to her.
Tom, is that a banana in your pocket? Or are you just happy? Are you just happy to be hearing this story?
Is this Penthouse Forum, Kimberlina?
And my thought is, as I'm reading this,
my wife gets mad when I swear.
You didn't really
podcast.
set the theme quite well enough. You needed a little more backstory there with where they were, what the weather was, what they were driving when they got there.
You know what? I have to read Loonsberry's text in order to get
Right.
all of that information.
Exactly.
But here's what I'm going to tell you about this, because I'm not exceptionally brilliant, but I'm smart enough to know.
You're not exceptional or brilliant.
Thank you.
Sorry, that was
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
low-hanging fruit right there.
Chad, move over a little bit.
Dick.
Low-hanging fruit. Sorry.
I paved that road for you, didn't I?
You sure did.
Yeah.
You laid it right
I'm
out there.
smart enough to know. And I think everyone else
I'm actually sorry. I feel bad that I said
smart
that.
enough to shut up.
That was rude.
I'm smart
I'm being
enough.
serious.
You're not.
I would never say anything like that about you, Kimberly.
That was rude.
At least not to your face.
And I don't mean that either.
I'm smart enough to know that you don't make up shit like this. You don't make up. She called me a unicorn and found it hot that I'm bisexual. You don't.
What the hell's wrong with that though?
Those things aren't made up. Just like Loonsberry's texts and the things he said in those texts are his words from his text messages that he sent multiple amounts of women, multiple amounts, calling this guy a unicorn and going over to his house and trying to, get him into bed because he's a challenge is absolutely, I believe the guy. I believe the guy because the liberal left told me I have to believe them.
You believe men.
I believe men.
You only have to believe women of color.
I have been told that I have to believe the liberal left when they're shouting crazy ass shit. So I believe him.
You're all confused.
I believe him because I don't think you just bring up that unicorn comment right out of your ass unless you're some kind of romance
novelist. Is that a thing though?
novelist.
The unicorn? I'm not familiar with that reference. Is that what you call somebody who's bisexual? A unicorn?
I call them greedy. Pick a freaking sex and go with it, man. You can't have it all. Your cake and eat it too. Come on, figure it out. You either like men, you like women, but you can't have everyone. Leave some for us. Right?
But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is that inappropriate?
I don't know how far into the weeds we want to go with this discussion.
Oh,
well,
boy.
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, sorry.
This goes on.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's not the end of the conversation.
Like I said, you are exceptional. Keep going.
So when he refused to sleep with her, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Well, he wasn't tired.
He had a headache.
He didn't want to go to sleep yet.
I don't know. Maybe he's bisexual, but not bisexual enough to find Shawnee attractive. She's an attractive woman.
Sure.
She's very pretty. She's a pretty girl.
She's short.
She apparently,
Or he's tall.
since her advance was rebuffed, she took that personally. And what happens when
woman scorned?
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're not going to sleep with me. I'm not going to make your life miserable. And that's what she did. Claimed that he was hugged and touched by her at work without his consent. And she did it knowing that it was going to make him uncomfortable, spread rumors about him, and ordered him to end a romantic relationship with a woman in favor of just dating men specifically, which I think I just said, pick a sex. You can't have everyone.
It is
But
gay pride month.
I'm saying that jokingly, of course. I don't care, whatever you want to do. I don't want to know about it. And Reynolds says he did not make these statements and actions public to anyone on the board at the time because he felt uncomfortable doing so, knowing that Shawnee Wilson was the queen bee. He did tell his friends. He told some family members. And apparently, like Loonsberry, he's got a freaking therapist. And I'm just going to say, all you people need one, right? Because you are crazy AF. And so the breaking point came when she ordered him to discipline an employee that she had actually told him to hire. And he was like, I just can't stand up for this anymore. So he went to the board and he reported the alleged sexual harassment to the board. And then he was suspended.
So he was trying to get rid of her.
He was suspended. Yeah.
He got suspended for reporting allegations.
That is correct.
Of wrongdoing against him. That makes sense.
He went to the board on
Welcome to 2022, Chad.
He went to the board on April 19th, the Police Accountability Board, to report these allegations about Shawnee Wilson. And they held a secret board meeting that violated, whatever it is, the open policies, right? Where you have to have open meetings.
Open meetings law.
What kind of buffet and refreshments does a secret board meeting have?
I don't know.
Seems like you'd get something good there.
So they had a secret board meeting on the 28th. So he came forward with the allegations on the 19th. By the 28th, he was reported for performance issues and suspended. There are no records of those secret meetings that apparently happened.
Shocking.
It was a double secret meeting.
Again, this is your taxpayer dollars at work. There's a stash.
But somehow
God bless his little
somehow we have text messages from teachers, but we can't get anything about this, right?
We have all the information.
Barn door swings both ways.
He says the trauma. When he was in here, Austin, did Connor the stash look traumatized to you?
No, he was
Did he look fine?
He was very.
Kimberly's
doing some investigative work.
I just want to know if he looked traumatized.
I enjoyed that show, and I enjoyed his opinion.
Was he funny and witty and
I
opinionated?
think
did
so.
he
Did you hit on him?
did he curl up in a ball and
I
start
wasn't
crying
here,
in the middle
Chad.
of the corner of this room when he was
No.
on because he's so traumatized?
He was very confident.
Did you guys put that behind him?
No, that's only for you.
I think that was for Shawnee.
and
I think
I'm-
she's the one with the dick.
It
in
might
this- in
have
this
been
story.
for Jose at one point
So
too.
no, for the purpose of this story, Shawnee has the dick.
Okay.
All right, let's stick. to,
She's
you
the
know,
one
to-
in power.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
she has
Women power. Or is it
Now
woman
imagine this.
power?
So what is their budget? Like 50 million a
5
year?
million, 5 million a year,
5 million a year.
and they're renting a $24,000 a month office
From
down.
who? And who owns
the
that?
Democrat and Chronicle.
Of course, right? Follow the money.
Mhm.
So, and this is what they're doing with the money, is they're sexually harassing each other.
Yeah,
And
There's
yeah.
nothing else
Yeah,
to do,
yeah.
Chad.
They're playing in a tree fort. I mean, this is what happens.
Mhm.
This is what happens when a bunch of namby-pamby progressives who've never had to hold a real job, they've never had to do anything real in their life, and then they all get together with our money
Mhm.
and they're playing Monopoly, living in a tree fort. That's what they're doing. They have nothing better to do.
Sounds like a good gig.
They have nothing better to do than sexually harass each other, snipe at each other, and
Yep.
then hold double secret board meetings to get rid of people. I mean, that's what, look,
That's,
when,
I know, right?
when I was a kid, there was 13 of us cousins, I think, right? And we were, ranging in the ages of 8 to 15.
You
let's
don't know
say.
how many
Look,
cousins you had?
Lord
And
of
we're
the
out,
Flies.
yeah, and we're out in
Lord-
the backyard and we're all day long unattended by adults and we're just, running around, messing with each other and this, that, and the other. And then halfway through the day, we're holding little secret factions of, who did what wrong and who do we got to, yell at and who's mad at who and all. That's what these grown adults in suits are doing.
It's
Yes.
all fun
With
and
$5
games,
million.
Mr. Hummel, until somebody gets hurt.
It's absurd.
So he has, I'm assuming a lawsuit is coming. He has, filed a complaint with the Rochester City Council,
A lawsuit for what?
but he's also filed a complaint with the New York State Division of Human Rights because Harvard boy, isn't that where he went to? I'm just going to stash, is not dumb, right? He's going to get paid.
He should
and
just
he's-
go get a real job.
He's just going to get paid by the city that's already paying an ungodly amount of money for cop haters. So
Dissolve the
wrap your
board.
mind around that for a second.
Dissolve the board, go get a real job. That's the answer to all this.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Go work in the real world and see how things function in the real world.
But Chad, he says he's been traumatized, and that
And you believe him.
and that trauma has been compounded by gaslighting, public humiliation, and he says his reputation is ruined.
What was his reputation?
He's a unicorn. Wow, chicka, wow.
Right.
Unbelievable.
And someone called her an oversexed black woman. I mean, I don't know. I just think she thought the dude was a challenge, and they're both single, and he's bisexual, and
Dude,
she thought
yeah,
I
do
can
men
turn
and women not-
that. I
do
can turn
men
that.
and women not hit on each other? Is that illegal now in the United States of America? I
What did
don't-
Lavelle say? Sword fights and dildos and getting dollars. That should have been yes. Instead of
the
sex
name
with
of the show?
instead of sex, I'm going to start. Lavelle, you and I are going to start having conversations before I do this show because I like that name better than Sex with Unicorns, which is the name of today's show. What's Lavelle's idea again? Sword fights with dildos and getting dollars. Lavelle, you're a freaking genius. I love you so much. That guy's funny. But yeah, so here we are. With this organization that can't figure out how to run itself, except for now it looks like running itself right into the ground, which
they
again,
invest-
I'm not disappointed by that.
Have they investigated any police wrongdoings that have come to fruition that we know of? Is that public record? Do we know?
No,
No,
they have not.
they have not.
Mm-mm.
5 million a year.
Two
And all
years.
they're doing is oversexing each other.
Two members have already resigned because of, I guess, issues within the organization.
You said it the best, Lord of the Flies. That's what they are.
Right.
It's Lord of the Flies.
and he's and you know the two members, I don't know their names, other cop haters. It doesn't really matter. Let's just call them. Who even knows their name? Nobody knows except for their. Well, a couple of them are criminals actually.
CH1 and CH2.
So,
Chad, what's your nickname? I mean, what's your initials?
Shawnee Wilson.
CH.
Shawnee Wilson has lawyered up, and her attorney.
Did she hire you, Chad?
Yes.
Her attorney is Beth Cordello.
Don't know her.
Cordello
know
and
her?
Cordello.
And they're not making a comment except for to say that she has never sexually harassed anyone. Maybe she doesn't know the definition of sexual harassment then. But I will let you know that the Police Accountability Board is looking for community organizations to collaborate with as they get ready to launch. So they've received $10 million in 2 years, and they just tweeted 5 hours ago that they're getting ready to launch. What in the hell have you been doing for 2 years?
Getting ready to launch what?
I
It takes
don't
a
even
long time
know.
to build a website.
Well, they had mugs.
Yeah,
we
Oh,
we
yeah.
saw that beer drinking fool, tweet out the mug, right?
Right,
the,
yeah.
the PAB mug. They certainly had time to sexually harass each other's and order mugs and t-shirts in 2 years. That's all you've been able to do.
You can't
That's
even,
it.
You can't even make this stuff up. You can't.
And this should make you angry. Right?
I'm so over it.
10 million. 10 million in 2 years. And you've done nothing but cause trouble and buy swag. And there we are. Police Accountability Board. And they're looking for organizations to help them launch. I say the We the People
I was gonna say,
Podcast
we-
Network
Yes.
we here at the-
join that revolution.
We can do that.
Let's help them out.
Sure.
Let's give them our advice on transparency and full disclosure because they seem to not know the very definition of their own mission statement they wrote.
My advice: buy more ammo.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
That's my advice to the PAB.
Sex with a unicorn. Is that what a bisexual is? A bisexual man is a unicorn?
I have no idea.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to.
I'm still going with
I don't wanna-
I'm still going with he just wanted a letter, so he said that.
I
You can't be in the club unless you have a letter.
I didn't know what kind of letter.
He had to be a B, right? Isn't that part of the alphabet?
Letter. I don't want to upset people on Gay Pride Month.
No.
I do. I noticed that there was a couple more letters added to LGBTQ LMNOP today.
I
and A.
cannot keep
Yeah,
track.
what does I and A stand for?
Intersection and
Like the intersection right out here.
I mean, 6 months
at
ago,
Titus and
Yeah.
whatever the street is.
6 months ago, we were. I know I was joking around about what letters are coming next, and I literally
they've added
I
some.
opened up an article today
Well, they've
about
been out
Kathy
for a
Hochul,
while.
but I have never seen those letters. We're literally up to about 14. There's gonna be more letters entering the alphabet soon.
You know?
Well, there's like 600 genders, so why not?
I know.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I want to show
I
you.
need somebody to explain it to me.
I want to show you a picture of a tweet that I saw today that has to do with the school that your children go to.
Oh boy.
Can I show you that tweet? There it is.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't hear anything about this until I read that.
Police added at East Ridge High School in Irondequoit.
Well, you know what happened?
Thoughts, cares, concerns?
Well, I actually had a conversation with the principal last week.
They talked to you. You weren't thrown
Yeah.
out. Was
Yeah.
that as they were like escorting you out of the building?
Chad, you better show the side again, just to be clear.
No, I
Right.
left a message for the principal after this incident, and he called me. And because this was my question and my initial concern centered around the fact that, are you familiar with what happened? The whole incident that occurred there a couple weeks ago
At East Ridge High School?
at East Ridge High School?
No.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It'll probably be 2 weeks ago, Thursday or Friday.
Did any of the news media cover this?
I believe that they did.
Did
briefly, but then according to the principal, he said it immediately got bumped from the news because there was some violence at some other schools that bumped it out of the news.
Oh,
But this is-
Gananda or Kendall, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Gananda. This is what happened. A younger brother or cousin of an actual student at East Ridge High School.
Okay.
You're not even going to believe this nonsense. gets on a bus. Okay.
That doesn't go to school.
Doesn't go to school at Eastridge High School.
Was he
Gets
wearing
on
a
a-
mask?
Hold on. You see, Tom's already onto it.
But it gets on the Eastridge High School bus.
Gets on the Eastridge High School bus.
Okay.
Okay. I couldn't get onto the property without a mask on. But we digress real quick, right?
But this kid just gets on a bus randomly.
Just gets on a bus. Bus driver's like, yeah, anyone
Okay.
gets on. Anyone gets on. Who pedophile? Get on. Come on, everyone's on. Today is everyone gets on the bus day, and he's surrounded quite.
Okay.
Okay, so last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, was anyone that wants to go shoot up the East Quite High School, get on a bus today. That's what it was. It was signs on the buses, the whole 9 yards.
Right,
It said
right.
everyone gets a free ride today.
Okay.
Then they take him to the school. They transport him to the school. Then
This kid who doesn't go to Easter on
correct. Now because there's signs on the school that say the same thing, everyone gets to come in today, except for Mr. Hummel. Everyone comes in today. They let him in.
Okay.
He comes into the school, right?
Because he's a kid.
We got people.
They have hot breakfast.
We have all the schools getting shot
I
up.
love hot
We have all the
breakfast.
locks on the doors and the cameras and the buzzers and the security guards and the so on and so forth. But
This kid gets it.
he just comes into school.
Okay.
He doesn't go to school there. He comes in.
Okay.
And now he gets into school. And of course, he's there to learn algebra and things like that, right? No, not. So he's there to start
How
a fight.
old is this kid?
He's, I believe,
72.
14, 15.
Okay.
I believe.
So he's 14
yeah.
years old.
Comes into school and immediately engages in gang warfare, right? They start a fight and a big fight breaks out.
Okay.
And as it was described to me, he was physically restrained at that point by a staff member at the school.
Okay.
When that staff member, basically in the staff member's own words, looked at the kid and said, well, who are you? You don't go here. He's already in the building. And then ready for this?
I just came to learn my
Tom's
letters.
joke. Literally, the irony of Tom making that joke and the cliche of you can't make this up. No, Tom, that joke wasn't a joke. I was advised, I was told part of the problem, part of the reason why he was able to gain illegal access into the building was because he was wearing a mask. He was wearing a mask and we couldn't recognize him. Oh, wait, I think I've heard something before about people saying, what's going to happen if you allow people to wear masks, right? Why was it a law that's for forever, and it still is, that you can't wear a mask into a bank, right? You can't wear a mask.
Well,
because-
Chad, they don't know who Bruce Wayne still is.
Who's Bruce Wayne?
Right, exactly. He wears a mask. They don't know who
They
he
wouldn't
is.
let you wear a mask into a bank because they were afraid you were going to rob it.
So I was
Yeah.
told that, and then the person, they had to stop themselves because they realized how absurd it sounded. Well, one of the problems is, the thing with the mask. So we're going to have to make a rule where you can't. I was about to be told that you can't wear a mask, except we all know, because all the superintendents tweeted it out once you didn't have to wear a mask. They said nobody's going to be bullied if they choose to wear a mask. But now this administrator almost spit it out because he realized that was part of the problem here.
Of course.
So they let somebody in the building that didn't go to school there, and then that person starts a brawl right in the
Came in
hallway
and opened up a can of whoop ass
with a mask on.
with a mask on.
So
With a
now
mask
every
on.
student's going to have to show their ID as they come in the door.
Brilliant.
Don't know.
No.
Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're like the Rochester City School District, where they want cops there, they just want them outside, far enough out,
Pretending that they're not there.
pretending that they're not there in their cars, so that if a vice principal is set on fire inside the school, they really can't do anything for at least a couple of minutes that it takes them to get inside the school.
Right.
Which is
So
of
I
course,
don't
a
know
true
if-
story also.
I don't
Somebody
know
getting
if-
set on fire.
Chad, maybe they should fingerprint all the students.
But here's the other thing. So so the police are now in the building because of that incident.
Oh, it has to be.
Or
It's
just
it's knee-jerk reaction, but
Well, here's my other
I don't
thing.
know what the logistics are, though. I'm going to drive by tomorrow and check it out and see, are they stationed outside? Are they inside? And it'll only be short-lived.
I'm
It's just
sure.
reactionary.
Maybe it's like when you're driving 40 into a small village and they just leave the car there with nobody in it
So let
as a deterrent.
me show you how would you feel that if your kids, they have cell phones, right? All your kids have cell phones?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they all have cell phones. That if they walked into school, that they would have to put their cell phones
Heard
in
about
these
this
phone
today.
pouches. Have you seen these? Let me show you this.
Yeah.
That's-
Carol, by the way, Carol, that's way too much reading for me.
The Greece School District is trying to regulate the cell phone use, and last night the board approved these cell phone pouches, which students will have to lock them, will be stored and locked in these phone pouches in grades 6 through 12 to limit cell phone distraction and focus on student
Right.
learning. Here's what I'm telling you. Hell to the freaking no. Because what happens if there's something serious that happens at one of these schools and there's no kid that can call 911 like they did from
Mhm.
Uvalde? Kids were
Plus,
calling
that's like
911
an
on their phones.
iPhone 5. What good is that phone going to
Kid-
do?
Looks like
Kids
my
were
phone.
calling nine. You know what? You're not going to touch my kid's cell phone. That belongs to me. That is my property. I have purchased it. I am 100%. You're not going to take my child's phone and put it in something like that.
You could take my child's phone if
And-
you allow my child to carry a firearm.
And
I'd rather them have a firearm than a cell phone
Thank you.
when the time comes.
If they can conceal and carry.
Now
Yeah.
we're going to arm 12-year-olds, Chad?
No, 16-year-olds. Here's the thing.
Well, if someone would have been armed in Uvalde, maybe that
Can I just-
asshole wouldn't have shot up.
can I just
those poor
quickly
babies.
Can I just quickly take this in a different direction?
Quickly?
Let me quickly take this in a different direction. They always say, when the right hand's moving, watch what the left hand's doing, and vice versa. This is one of those moments. This is always it's always a follow the money type of deal, right?
Sure.
Follow the money here too. Those pouches, I wonder how much they retail for.
I have no idea.
I wonder how much each school district, after they were lobbied by the industry
Yep.
that owns those pouches, that created those pouches and sells those pouches, the school districts are going to purchase those.
Well,
They're not going to require the students in the school districts to purchase those or the families to purchase those. Those are going to be bought and paid for by the districts.
By your tax money.
Those companies that
Yep.
manufacture and distribute those are going to make
Yeah,
tens of billions of dollars off of the school districts across the United States.
absolutely.
And that's all Greece did. Greece was lobbied by a sales rep and bought in. Just
Sure.
like the pharmaceutical rep shows up at the doctor's office once
Yep.
a month with all of their literature on the next pill to take.
Yep.
The rep showed up at the school and sold that off on the school board. And there's a school board member in every district that's bought and paid for and became the lobby on the board.
They're
Right.
between 15
Well,
and 30
I was
bucks.
going to say at 3 in the morning,
Look
you
at
can
that.
get them 2 for $19.99.
Did you see
at
that?
3
Between
in the
15
morning.
and 30 bucks.
So what's 30 times East Arundecoit School District has
$1
$3,300.
million.
Well, look at it this way. Greece is the largest school district. And believe me,
How many
my
students are in
property
Greece?
taxes showed it. I don't know.
Let me look that up.
A crap ton.
How
17,000.
Because my school taxes went up almost $1,500.
Say 8,000. Not even, probably 6. How many?
I'm just going to say
students
this. If
in-
my kid is in the Greece school district, my kid's cell phone is not going in that pouch. You can kiss my ass. You can.
11,000
I'll come up. There are 11,000 kids.
in Greece.
6 through
11,000 times 30. $330,000. That's a nice contract if you're the sales rep.
And then each kid's going to lose like 3 of them.
Yeah, they're going to buy.
right.
Yeah, they're going to
right?
buy double. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
They're going to buy double the amount.
Exactly.
They're going to spend $500,000.
So
Yeah,
there
That's a
you
nice-
have it.
That's a nice.
They
Yeah,
got
that's all
it.
that is.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
How about no?
And it's not going to solve a
How
single
about
problem.
now?
How about no? Not going to happen.
How about now?
My kid is going to have the cell phone in case anything crazy happens and 911 needs to be called, because you can't rely on the school districts protecting your children,
Oh, and
because you have crazy ass people who will never show up on a mental health evaluation or some list that targets them as mentally ill, because you can't control that.
no, yeah, you're right. They create.
You can't control
They
it.
create all of the talk speak policies on how they're going to do that, and then we always find out that these shooters were all over social media professing what they were getting ready
And
to
nobody
do. and
reported them.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody reported
I
them.
got called by the FBI just for being in Washington D.C. on January 6th.
You can thank Rachel Barnhart for
Yeah,
that.
correct. And Leticia Stasio.
Well, she
But
was
the
looking at
FBI
your sign, Chad.
Correct. But the FBI, they can't stumble across a kid who's, going nuts on social media that is
Well,
going to shoot up a school.
Let's listen. Okay, so here was a tweet regarding the Buffalo shooting that happened, what, 2 Saturdays ago now? This is the son of Buffalo shooting victim asked the Senate Is there nothing that you personally are willing to do to stop white supremacy and domestic terrorism? Let's listen to him real quick.
You elected to protect us, to protect our way of life. I ask every one of you to imagine the faces of your mothers as you look at mine and ask yourself, is there nothing that we can do?
No.
Is there nothing that you personally are willing to do to stop the cancer of white supremacy
Cancer got cured.
and the domestic terrorism it inspires? Because if there is nothing, then respectfully, senators, you should yield your positions of authority and influence to others that are willing to lead on this issue. The urgency of the moment demands no less. My mother's life mattered.
Sure
My
did.
mother's life mattered. And your actions here today will tell us how much it matters to you. Thank you.
Now, see that there's
Propaganda.
multiple things going on in that. I feel bad,
Sure, he's grieving.
horrible
Yeah. His mother should still be alive.
for his elderly mother.
Mhm.
That is a horrible thing. But he's asking these senators to do a couple of things. What does he want them to do? End white supremacy on the internet or ban everyone's guns? I'm confused.
And how do you end white supremacy?
I don't know. But
Is there a
let's-
law? Can we just pass a law? You cannot be a white supremacist.
Let's be clear.
We could ban murder too while we're at it.
This guy was evil. There's no doubt. I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's like it's a devil's minion, and I say that very seriously. It is nothing but the hand of the devil leading this kid.
Sure.
And he's a monster. That's the family. There's the kid right there. Those are fake guns, whatever they are that they're using to play with. But the whole family, but there's something wrong with that kid. There's not right. And did he threaten to shoot up his school? I think there were allegations of such, but they said it was never followed up on.
It never is.
Did he spend 2 days in the hospital under mental health evaluation? Yeah, he did. But that was the end of that. That was the end of that. I mean, I understand that man is grieving, but I don't understand what he wants the senators to do.
He's just grandstanding in some
So
degree.
where was that at? Was that at the U.S. Senate?
No, it'd be New York, probably.
No.
I don't know.
Not necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
I think he was before the United States.
I think he was.
Senate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I think he was.
so just like the last story, I just want to quickly take this, excuse me, somewhere else.
Okay.
Okay, fine. We can sit here and say we feel bad for him, obviously, right?
Of course.
Obviously.
But this
It's-
isn't a
it's-
gun
it's-
issue for this kid.
It's a terrible tragedy. My question
something
is,
else.
and at the risk of sounding self-righteous, which I typically don't have a problem doing, why is he grieving before the United States Senate? Before a bunch of jackasses that can't do anything, nor are obligated ethically or
Mhm.
legally
Mhm.
to do anything for him. He's grieving. He should be with his family or with his pastor if he wants to grieve. So now here's the issue. Who dragged his ass there and wrote that speech for him?
Well, you know someone
was it the clown next to him? Was that his attorney next to him getting probably $7.50 an hour from some GoFundMe account? Why was that guy sitting next to him? Who was he? Who are his handlers? Who are his advisors? Who are his spiritual advisors? Who told him that instead of staying at home and grieving, which is what he needs to be doing, to go talk to the United States Senate and ask them to end something that nobody can end? If you could end racism,
If you could,
it would have been over a long time ago.
It would have
Evil,
been.
exactly.
If you can
You
end,
can't end
evil,
evil.
let us know.
Exactly.
Let us figure out
Yeah.
how that ends. Because
Show me what the legislation looks like to end evil.
I'm going to tell you, and you know it as well as I do. Our patriots who are watching Kimberly's Revolution and watch other podcasts on We the People Podcast Network know that the Democrats love a good mass shooting.
Exactly.
It gives them nothing
Gives them everything they need.
but ammo,
Gives them all. I was going to say, gives them all the ammo they need.
if you will, to legislate more gun control on average law-abiding citizens in the United States of America. Criminals aren't going to follow any of those rules.
Why don't hunters shoot themselves up in
None of the
October?
rules. Well, sometimes they do, but and I'm going to give you an example of why the rules don't work for regular, criminals that don't think like the rest of us. They're
Evil,
they're
deranged
psychos,
sociopaths?
evil, deranged.
Criminals follow the rules?
They don't. So can we see a picture of this guy who killed this girl on the San Francisco pier? Let's
Oh
show
my
him. You
God.
guys know him, right?
Oh, this is a few years ago,
Is
right?
that Ricardo Montalban?
7 years ago, this Mexican man
Looks like me.
who had been in the country and deported more than 6 times prior to the shooting of this innocent girl on the San Francisco pier
Kept letting them back
Right.
in.
with her family, kept letting him back in. Let me tell you how effed up our policies are. And let me tell you why criminals are never going to follow the rules. This man, this criminal, this psychopath who was under the, umbrella of mental illness, because they said, well, he's schizophrenic and he was never treated. And he just needed to be in the United States to get treatment for his mental. Fuck that. Hang him from the nearest bridge, because this is a guy that did nothing but criminal activity every time he crossed over the border. And this California federal judge on Monday sentenced this piece of shit to time served
Wow.
for the murder and the shooting death of that woman on the San Francisco pier 7 years ago. He was supposed to be there for 10 years or longer.
What was he convicted of?
7 years. Homicide.
It sounds like maybe negligent homicide, though, or
Her name was Katie Steinle, and she was just there on that
Yes, I
pier with her
recall that name.
family. She was walking with her father. He faced deportation at the time. He wasn't even supposed to be there. And
it wasn't alleged though
He
that
fired
it was
the
an
gun.
intentional.
yeah,
He just I think he maybe indiscriminately fired the gun and it ricocheted, as I recall.
he was acquitted of homicide charges. But
Found
he
guilty of manslaughter.
but
or
he was
assault.
faced firearms charges. But again, here's a man who had been in the country illegally 6 times and kicked out and kept coming back. Robbery, burglary, I think assault were some of the charges that he had previously been charged with, never thrown in jail for more than a day or two because of the very exceptional liberal policies of the San Francisco district attorney,
Who's now gone?
who is now gone.
Was it that DA?
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't think it was.
He was elected just recently.
Just recently,
Yeah.
and then recalled. But it's stories
But
like
they're all the
this.
same.
This guy was never going to follow any kind of handgun law.
Exactly.
He wasn't going to have only so many
You mean-
bullets
you
in
mean he
his
wa-
gun.
He wasn't going to go for a background check.
No, the gun he had was
Yeah, where did he
illegal to
get the
begin
gun?
with.
It was illegal. Yeah, he got it off the streets.
This guy wasn't a legal citizen of the United States of America.
Well, he does have kind eyes.
Hang him from the nearest bridge and be done with it, because you know what? So he's sentenced to time served. They're going to deport him back to Mexico. Anyone want to lay odds on?
Yeah, he'll be back
he'll
in
be
30
back.
days. Less than
Yeah.
30 days.
doing what? Do you think?
Well,
Do you think he'll be knitting a nice sweater or booties for maybe a grandchild?
yeah, he's going to
Do
apply.
you-
He's going to apply for the security job at Eastridge High School.
So fed up San Franciscans have said, you know what? We're done with liberal ass, and of course, San Francisco is the bastion of all liberal policy, right?
You think?
Yeah. So this guy is one of the so-called progressive district attorneys. His name is Chesa Boudin, I'm sorry. And he was recalled on Tuesday during the elections that they had in San Francisco. So you see this kind of going on. And if you're seeing it in San Francisco,
Yeah,
I think it's kind of important.
it's a good
But you know
sign.
what?
It's a good bellwether. Hopefully.
He's blaming other things. So
Racism?
Chesa Boudin, do you know his background?
I do not.
He
Probably went to Harvard.
he is the son of Kathy Boudin and David Gilbert,
Oh, that settles it. I know him now.
who served as the getaway drivers for the infamous 1981 robbery of a Brinks armored car in Rockland County, New York,
Was his last name Rinaldi?
during
That'd
which
be Ranieri.
Ranieri?
2 of those cops were killed. Edward O'Grady and Waverly Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones?
And
What's he doing there?
and the Brinks guard were all murdered because they were a member of this underground.
So this was his parents
Mhm.
were involved in that.
That is correct, because they were a member of the
Apple Tree?
the
No?
weather
Weather Underground?
the weather underground. Yeah.
I have that app.
Wasn't
Mhm.
Obama part of?
No,
I think Obama was associated.
but
according to
he
Sean
was a
Hannity.
former public defender and the son of convicted weather underground terrorists. And
Ayers. Who?
they voted him
Bill
out.
Ayers, I think. Yeah, it's some communist underground organization.
Yeah. So
and so that's his family.
yeah. So let's
That's
hear
awesome.
let's hear from Chessa Budin. You have that?
Hello, America.
You got that? No?
Oh, there we go.
Hey, he got recalled. Quit clapping.
This was never about one vote count. It was never about one election night party. It was never about specifically which person gets to be in the office of the district attorney. This is a movement, not a moment in history.
Oops. Traitor.
And one of the things that I've seen over the course of this campaign, over the course of all the years that I've spent working in San Francisco's justice system, is that we have two cities. We have two systems of justice. Right? We have one for the wealthy and the well-connected, and a different one for everybody else. And that's exactly what we are fighting to change.
Okay, whatever. I mean, whatever. We don't know what.
Well, he is
but
kind of right. Nancy Pelosi's husband's going to get off, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But you have this guy, and you have these so-called progressive DAs that were all backed by Soros, who are now getting called out for their soft on crime. In fact, I think New York's, which doesn't have a recall,
Correct.
is I think that guy's under fire. Do we have a picture of him? There, he looks angry. He was called a liberal POS by the mayor, and that guy's angry about it. That is
maybe
the
he's just got gas.
Is that soft drink more than 32 ounces? That's
That
illegal,
is-
isn't it, in New York City?
that is Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, and we know what's been happening.
It's
With
an illegal soft drink.
we know what's been happening in
ban that soft drink. It's illegal. It's too
in
big.
New York City,
It's
right?
too big and sugary.
With all the crime, we
Oh, yeah.
understand. We understand the criminal activity.
Wait,
That-
who's
that-
in the left-hand corner?
He hates cops.
I believe that's the mayor, Chad.
Oh, good.
This district attorney in New York City hates cops.
You can't be the DA and hate cops.
He absolutely does,
They kind of work together.
and said that any kind of major crime would not be tried as a major crime. They were all going to be misdemeanors, like shoplifting, and quite frankly, San Francisco residents are tired of it. They're done with it.
So they ignore the law. The DA is going to ignore the law instead of prosecute the law. Makes sense.
So there you go. He looks very angry.
That's because
he's
the
being-
ice melted in his drink.
He's being called out on his soft on crime. I do want to show you.
He didn't like the toy that he got in his Happy Meal. This is one of those where you capture you capture
You're
the
going
photo.
to caption the
Yeah, yeah.
picture. Yeah. Before we get out of here, and I don't know if you guys have anything else. I do want to
No,
show
I'm,
you
I'm all set.
this pretty funny TikTok. Can we run the TikTok about
Still mad
gas?
I'm still mad about this.
The gas.
Well, Chad, before you run that, you wanted a letter. We can add D to the A.
Put your
to the
headphones on
alphabet.
and listen to this
We'll
TikTok.
add
It's
D to
pretty
the
funny.
alphabet for you, for Dick.
Redneck word of the day.
Ford! How you doing? Pump us some gas.
You're crazier than hell. I can't afford that.
Can't afford that. I understand that. I understand having my relatives talk like that. What?
That is awesome.
Ford. We can't afford that. I am right out of the trailer park, guys. Right out of the trailer park. I'm proud of it.
Put her back in.
Proud of it. Anything you guys have? Anything that I left out for today? Sex with a Unicorn. I highly advise everyone to try it going into
Just don't Google it.
the weekend. I don't know. Maybe the mustache. Maybe that should be like a challenge for everyone. If people aren't interested in you sexually, try to force them to be interested in you sexually. What could possibly go wrong? I promise I will never ask either one of you to sleep with me. I promise.
You were talking to Tom and Austin, right? Austin's looking
Right.
around. No, Austin, you're the only Austin in the room.
Oh, okay.
I
He
promise.
was looking behind him for the other Austin.
Yeah, but her pet name for him is Justin.
Right.
know.
Yeah, I didn't know who
But I
Austin
just
was.
want to let you guys know that just here and now, let it be said that I will never try to get you drunk and then make you sleep with me.
All right, very good.
All right,
We're good.
Are you- I mean, my own husband tries to get me drunk and sleep with me. I'm like, no, stop.
Well, only twice a year he does that.
Right.
I'm turning my
exactly.
camera off.
All right, that is going to do it for Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People podcast network. Of course, we love our sponsors.
I think we lost this battle.
Right,
Revolution.
Taylor Heating and Plumbing. Make sure that if you need a furnace or an air conditioner, or if you need some insulation done, you call the guys at Taylor 500 Help. And we also ask you, if you need a lawnmower, go see our friends Kimberly and Justin at Precision Lawn and Garden, and then Express Sealers. Make sure that you get your driveway done so it looks as good as the rest of your house, right? So Taylor Heating and Cooling, Precision Lawn and Garden, and Express Sealers. We love you guys. You're the reason why we're still here talking about sex with unicorns.
And if you want a t-shirt just like Connor has now, you can order a t-shirt on our website.
only if you wear it while having sex
with a
Right.
unicorn.
with a unicorn. And that's going to do it for us.
God bless. Be kind to others.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 Help.